Good afternoon. My name is Sifu Dave Charlesworth from KAJUKENBO Napoli here in Naples, Italy. I wanted to make a video concerning the concept of online martial arts training. And I want to ask, is this a viable way to effectively teach someone martial arts? Honestly, I'd also be remiss if I didn't include the use of video training methods such as DVD, as these days the two are pretty much the same. So for the purposes of this video, I may say online via the internet or DVD. Just keep in mind that independent of the media, I look at all of them as pretty much being the same. Times today are different as there are so many resources available with the technology that we enjoy today. Traditionally, classroom learning is being replaced with alternative internet or online alternatives. The online and training industry has become a multi-million-dollar enterprise as consumers choose to take the learning online as it is easier, cheaper, and more convenient. I could only imagine how much easier it would have been for me as a student if I had all the online available content to help me learn while I was progressing from white belt to black belt. In my day, we had to take good notes, usually writing things down immediately following class, hoping that we didn't forget something before we wrote it down. Today, there are videos on YouTube for almost anything you want to learn, including KAJUKENBO. I would have learned all that kata much quicker and could have referred to the video when I had trouble remembering a grab art or a punch counter. What a world we live in. There's tons of reference material available at your fingertips via the internet. Today, you can attend an online college class and get a degree to become an IT professional, a lawyer, or a doctor. Why would it be any different for martial arts? I would ask, can you effectively teach the techniques that we teach in normal face-to-face classes via an online format? The reality is that online martial arts classes already exist and are becoming more and more popular. The question still remains, though, is online training a viable way to effectively learn martial arts? I believe that learning martial arts from home would be a less effective and present some real challenges that could lead to some serious consequences in the real world, especially when it comes to putting what you believe that you have learned to practice in a street self-defense situation. Traditional teaching methods involve coaching by a qualified instructor who observes the techniques and corrects deficiencies on the spot and helps you to learn that technique, refining your form and your precision during class. Additionally, in a classroom setting, you have a wide range of training partners of various shapes and sizes to practice with. Now, that's not to say that a quality video can't teach the techniques effectively, but it's challenging to foreshadow all the mistakes that a student can make and create a video that would prevent those mistakes. Sure, a video can go both ways with an instructor interacting with a student on a regular basis, correcting deficiencies using video or teleconferencing. This would be a lot slower and more challenging depending on the video equipment that's available and the video experience of both the student and or the instructor. Additionally, does the student have a suitable training partner to practice on doing the techniques? What equipment does the student have available to practice with? Traditional learning environments, or the gym, or the dojo, will usually have equipment like heavy bags, striking pads, kicking pads, maybe a bob, and some mats. Then, of course, there are concerns about liability. Who's responsible if a student gets hurt during an online class? You have no control as to whether the training partner knows how to fall. Are they using training weapons or the real deal? There's a lot that can go wrong, and you have no control over what's happening when you're not present. For these reasons, I would make the assertion that perhaps this type of training would be more suitable for those who already have a martial arts background and have already developed a solid grasp on the basics. But how do you make that assertion? And is it something that you're willing to do? And are you willing to do that on a large scale? Or only on a case-by-case basis? Now, I know there are several valid reasons to turn to an online training environment where this type of training traditional training would make perfect sense. For example, leading up to, during, and following the COVID-19 pandemic, with the draconian lockdowns and prohibitions against team-style sports, which, one could argue martial arts is, and after all, you do require a training partner. It's hard to do grab hearts and punch counters without one. Point in fact, I believe that this type of training, online training, kept some schools afloat during the pandemic. Another reason might be, the distance from available instructional expertise, as often is the reality with KAJUKENBO. For example, in Italy, I'm the only verifiable KAJUKENBO instructor that I'm aware of. Before me, how would someone learn KAJUKENBO and or train consistently without having to travel to another country? Otherwise, it's just a momentary training event, such as a seminar. How do you handle promotions? Do you award belts for the knowledge attained? How do you assess that knowledge? Do you simply test via teleconference, media, or do you require them to travel to you? Do you travel to them? Are your procedures the same for every belt? If you use video or teleconferencing, do you require a face-to-face at the black belt level? I understood that there are some circumstances where online style training may be necessary, but should it be the norm? How to ensure that requirements are not watered down and that you are producing good quality students and or black belts? I personally have not embarked on creating an online curriculum, as I believe that my students need to attend classes, but I've been considering creating the materials to use them as a tool to augment my resident students so that they can use as a reference tool outside of class. I'm curious as to what your opinion might be regarding the online training environment being used exclusively, specifically for KAJUKENBO. And I ask that maybe you leave your comments down below and let me know. I hope that you enjoyed this video. And I think that it's a little short, but there could be a lot more discussion on this, and possibly based off of some comments and what's brought up there. Maybe we'll do a follow-up on it. But I do know that there's some KAJUKENBO schools out there that are using online content and teaching people online. And I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are on that. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I really do value your opinion. And sometimes it helps me to generate new content. Speaking of which, if you have a topic that you'd like me to bring up or talk about, please leave that below as well. Maybe I could do a video on it. In any case, I thank you so much for watching, hitting that like button, and subscribing to my channel. Your support is critical and is very much appreciated. Mahalo.